Shocking new study coming out about obesity. I've got it all here for you. As always, I will link and cite my sources down below. If we don't know each other, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I am not a healthcare provider, but I have been on GLP-1 medication 21 months, losing over 93 pounds and going from morbidly obese to just simply overweight. On my quest to not even be overweight, to be in a healthy weight range and have healthy blood panels. We're gonna dive in. Okay, so there was a new article or a new study that came out from the CDC. Before I dive into that, I think it's important to note this fact that epidemiologists have estimated that more than 40,000 lives per year could be saved if Wegovy and other weight loss drugs, Zepbound, were made affordable and widely available in the United States. This was from yesterday. It was yesterday. Senator Bernie Sanders and had where they had Novo Nordisk came to the Senate in the U.S. to talk about prices of Wegovy and Ozempic. It's still blowing my mind as to why Eli Lilly, the manufacturer of Mounjaro and Zepbound, were not also grilled at that hearing. Novo Nordisk, they're a foreign company, and Eli Lilly is U.S. based. But I found that fascinating. That's my source. And I'm not trying to talk about, don't go in my comments talking about Senator Bernie Sanders. I just wanted to quote where that source came from of that fact. 40,000 lives per year could be saved if medication was more affordable. So let's talk about this new CDC finding. It basically is obesity rates in US adults are no longer growing. The new CDC data suggest around 40% of adults in the US are obese, and marking the first time in over a decade that the nation's obesity rates have not inched up in results from the federal government's National Health Survey in the US for our international viewers. The figures come from a new report from a National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey nationwide. And in the 2000 survey, it said that 30% of adults were obese. And that, by the way, is defined as a BMI, which I hate BMI. Anyone else, like, I detest BMI, but it's the metric in which we have right now, one of them, for body mass index greater than or equal to 30. By 2020, so 20 years later, the CDC's estimate that the adult obesity rate climbed to 41.9%. In 21 years, it jumped 21.9%. It doubled, basically, more than doubled, to 41.9% of adults were obese, having a BMI of 30 or more. Now, for me, obesity, chronic obesity management has been a lifelong problem that's plagued me, and I know many of our viewers here too. I'm trying not to sit too far back. This sweater, do not get it at all. It's one of my worst purchases. It literally cuts right here. You can't see it, and I'm not trying to show my fat rolls on today's show. That's not happening in today's episode. Don't get this shirt. It's cute on the top. It's like a mullet. It's a party on the top, and on the bottom, it's like a train wreck. Let's go back to the study. So the CDC, this is where the problem is, though, with this. This is what I don't quite understand, and I would love your comments on it in the comment section, is now the CDC estimates that it's 40.3% of adults are obese. Looking at the survey data from 2021 to 2023. The difference in 2020 to 2023 was too small to be counted as a statistical significant decrease, and the modest decline breaks a streak that had been increasing every year since 2011. In the US, the prevalence of obesity in adults remains above Healthy People 2030, which is their goal to get to 36% of adults being morbidly or being obese. This is the interesting part, though, is severe obesity rates continue to increase. That blew my mind because I was severely obese. I was morbidly obese. Which it was interesting to me that they used the word severe obese versus morbidly obese. I thought it was morbidly, anyways, semantics there, but adjusted age and prevalence for adults with a BMI greater than or equal to 40%, to 40 increased from, so people had a BMI of 40 or more, from 7.7% to 9.4%. So that's fascinating to me that that went up. I would love for you guys to sound off in the comments. Why do we think that the severe obesity rates increased, but obesity rates decreased, right? And so obesity rates remain the highest among adults ages 40 to 59 years old. That's me. Um, and that's at 46.4%. Hello, menopausal women as well. Rates are the lowest among those 20 to 39 years old at 35.5%. Is this not so fast? Like, I'm like riveted by this. I find this the most fascinating information. We're gonna keep talking about these, but real fast, I would not be a good friend if I didn't tell you I bought these off Amazon. I'll link them on my Amazon shopping list down below. They're protein pretzels. They're so good. They're so good. Only 190 calories, and I'm not sponsored by them on today's episode. I got the affiliate link down below. 28 grams of protein. It was so good. I had that, and I just had my electrolytes. Like, obsessed. Which you can get these sip, they're called, it's like a small mom and pop business, but it's called Sip Hooray, I think is what, Sip something. That's also linked now. They're glass 20-ounce tumblers. They're amazing. Anyways, watch my Amazon show where I talked about those. Let's get back to the study. The new figure release comes a week after the CDC released its state map of obesity rates around the country and found that more than 1/3 of adults in 23 states were obese. That is up from no states with more than 1/3 of residents. The only District of Columbia and Colorado had less than 1/4 of residents who were obese in 2023. That's down from 7 states, and DC had the rates below 25% in 2013. This new data highlights, and I'm linking down below, this was from CBS News, by the way, and I'm going to cite the CDC direct link too for this study. This new data highlight the need for obesity, and all of my links too are in the description. Click that ... more button. All this new data highlight for the need for obesity prevention and treatment options, which start with the building healthier communities where people of all ages have safe place for physical activity and where healthcare and healthy food options are accessible and affordable for all, said Dr. Karen Hacker. She's head of CDC, National Center for Chronic Disease Prevention and Health Promotion, in a statement released on the MAPS release. The states that they had in here, let me go back up, which I found fascinating. They quoted Virginia, which is my state. And it must be over here. Oh, here it is. The 23 states that had the highest obesity rates of 35% or more. I was fascinated by this. Is your state on this map? Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Delaware, Georgia, Florida. No, Florida's not on there. It's Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Michigan. So I thought it was all going to be rural states. It's not. We're throwing other Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. Oh, excuse me, Virginia's not on there. It's West Virginia, not Virginia. I take that back. My state is not obese. The highest obesity rates, meaning people in the state are 35% or more. I'm curious about healthcare access in these states. That's my next question. But and then it talks about Guam and Puerto Rico also had obesity rates of at least 35%. This is mind-blowing to me that in 20 years, going from to what was it, the beginning of the 2000s to now 2024 when I'm filming this, of how much obesity increased. Like, it doubled. That's fascinating to me. Like, literally GLP-1 medication came out at the right time. It doubled. That's bonkers. And with these state maps in here, this was the other really cool thing too. It breaks it down by race, and then it breaks it down by race. Okay, so it talks about Asian adults do not have an obesity prevalence at or above 35% in any state. Also, in 16 states, white adults have obesity prevalence at or above 35% among 47 states. In 30 states, American Indians or Alaska Native adults have an obesity prevalence at or above 35% among 44 states. Hispanic adults, obesity prevalence of 35% among 47 states. And in 38 states, Black adults have obesity prevalence at or above 35% among 46 states. So it's talking in here about how obesity is a really complex disease. It's a spectrum. And when I was on the Oprah show back from the Shame, Blame, and Weight Loss Revolution this spring, the doctors on there, it was the first time I think I had really thought about this in terms of obesity. It is a spectrum of that, like, you can be at the beginning of the spectrum or way far down the line. And I thought about that. I'm like, oh, like, so that's me going back into when I was a little girl. I have struggled with food since I was young. I was on a diet. since I was in elementary school. And I struggled with that throughout my whole adult life. And then now to where we were, where I finally was like, I just don't care. And I literally, quote, let myself go. But I was like, I can't keep fighting so hard. And I still was, this is the crazy thing with obesity. I'm fighting so hard, but still being this way. Of being like, it's not that I don't have willpower, and it's not that I'm not working for this, because I am. And that's what's crazy to me about obesity, is it is a complex disease, which they talk about here. It's not a lack of willpower and individuals' failings to eat well, said Ruth Peterson. She's Dr. Ruth Peterson, director of CDC's Division of Nutrition, Physical Activity, and Obesity. Many factors, such as genes, certain medications, poor sleep, gut microbiome, stress, access to affordable food, safe places to be active, and access to healthcare. Understanding these factors help us identify potential prevention and treatment strategies. And so going into treatment strategies, I want to kind of segue. You guys always know I really very much love the serenity prayer of things I can change and things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. What I have today is I cannot control the shortages that are happening. I cannot control the price of medication right now, even though it's being heavily debated. I cannot control a lot of things, but what I can control today is what I'm putting in my mouth and how much I'm moving. And Alex Hormozi, if you guys follow him, he's my business coach. I have flown out to Las Vegas. I'm going back out to Las Vegas in December, and we'll be doing a Las Vegas meetup. So more on that. If you're on my email list, I'm going to communicate it that way, and my free encouragement group. You do not have to do this thing alone. We've got a huge system. It's linked in the description link below, but I'll communicate that more as the dates get closer. Alex Hormozi talks about very much, and I love this, about the really things I can control are my input. What am I putting in? I can't control the output. I can't control what happens after that. And so as I've been going through and walking through this weight stall, I have been fighting harder than I've ever fought, I feel like, for my weight loss to get past this 93-pound weight loss. At the end of the day, I'm working out way more than I ever have. I did Pilates last night. It was my first 1.5 lesson. That is a huge non-scale victory for me from being never having done Pilates. And then I did wall Pilates. And from wall Pilates, I did my first class with the reformer machine, throwing my legs around my head. And then now to be doing a 1.5 class, which is more advanced, obviously, than a beginner class. Like, those are amazing feats. And so what I want to encourage you with all of this information, as we talk about obesity, of things you can control, or let me use my I statements, things I can control, things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. So today, when I get excited about my water with my tumbler cup of my LMNT electrolytes in there, and it makes me giddy and happy, and having protein pretzels, which the count said they taste more like crackers, but I think that I got the everything in the bagel one. They're like salty and tricks like that for high protein focused diet. Those are things I can control. Tracking my calories, tracking my protein, tracking my water. Am I working out today? Am I strength training today? Like, all of those things matter. But then I gotta let it go. Let it go, let it go. I'm not gonna try, I'm a horrible singer, so I will not with the Elsa thing. But I wanna encourage you that what your input is. What can you do today to move you closer to your weight loss goals? And then releasing the outcome of it. Because for me, I'm getting frustrated. I am, if I'm brutally honest, I am getting frustrated. I'm like, why am I? I'm not considered morbidly obese anymore. I'm not even considered obese. I'm considered, quote, overweight. But I am ready to not be overweight anymore. I am so ready to be a healthy weight. And I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I know it's coming. And I'm doing everything within my power to change that. And so anyways, I don't know why I went off on that tangent. I feel like probably someone needed to hear that too, and needed some encouragement as well of like, I can't control the output. I can control the input, but I can't control the output. And keeping that in mind helps temper my emotional management with all of this, because at the end of the day, it is also about emotional management. I had the best therapy session yesterday, and I've talked to you guys a lot about how I used to be so scared. I never talked about how I had been in therapy, but for me, losing over 93 pounds, I ran to my therapist's office to help with lifestyle changes with these. And so I want to encourage you, for me, there was a whole accounting of emotions that had to happen that I needed a professional with a PhD to help me with. And has been very beneficial on this weight loss journey to reframe stuff for me And so one of the reframes we were talking about is I was like, I'm getting so frustrated. And so she's helping me remind me of how far I have come. And so I want to remind you of that too, of how far we collectively here at the Countess of Shopping community have come. In my free encouragement group yesterday, multiple times, because I'm a sensitive little bird, I was brought to tears seeing people hit their goal weights, their non-scale victories, so that meaning their NSVs. That has nothing to do with the scale. It has to do with lifestyle. And for me, some of my non-scale victories are riding a horse. I'm at a weight now of where I won't crush the horse and hurt it. I can actually ride it. It's so much fun. Riding roller coasters, doing all these physically active things, going to a Pilates 1.5 class, like focusing in on and choosing to focus in on those non-scale victories as well as we continue to walk through. And so that's my encouragement for you of as you walk through this, how can you also, and that's tip number 3, make this enjoyable. If it's not enjoyable, you're not going to keep doing it. And I just did the previous video talking about the sustainability of, there was a study done that around the 2-year mark, 15% of people are on GLP-1 medication. That's it. That means 85% of people stopped taking GLP-1 medication. There's a number of reasons for that, of the shortage and finances. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. But I want to say that of like, don't quit, like keep going. Not the GLP-1, like your health journey is what I'm referring to. With your doctor, that's your own health, that's your own personal information with you and your healthcare provider about GLP-1 medication, but keeping going. And I want and hope that you make this channel part of your daily routine. I know so many of you it is. And that makes my heart go pitter patter because I rely on y'all as much as some of y'all rely on me. You guys motivate me to keep going because I know I'm going to hit this. And I know that you guys are going to hit your goals too, as long as we don't quit. And daily focus, because the daily focus on this is my input. So I have not my sneakers on. I need to go put them on for a walk. Yesterday I did weight training with the Pilates. I'm going to go walk Mr. Friday now to get 2 miles in before it starts pouring down rain. What are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? And then 2, our emoji of the day is going to be muscles. Muscles is the emoji of the day. If you're like, what is the emoji of the day? It tells me that you made it this far in the video. If you did, I want to get to know you better because I care. So put the emoji of the day. The part 2 of that is I will pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought because all are welcome here. It's an inclusive community. Oh, many of you guys had asked, I brought it downstairs, about the Clean Simple Eats protein pumpkin spice. It's good. It's Countess of Shopping approved. I'll link that down below. Use the discount code QUEEN if you're wanting a pumpkin spice protein powder. It's good. It's not in the variety pack. I just held that up to show Clean Simple Eats. But I did need to add into my Profi, my protein coffee, which I use decaf espresso, but it's a Profi protein coffee. I did use 1 pump of sugar-free, like a half of a pump of sugar-free pumpkin spice syrup, the sugar-free syrup. So just FYI on that. It needed a little bit extra, but I had put it in my 40-ounce tumbler. So it was a lot of liquid, which was part of it. Like it was slightly diluted. It was so good. It was giddy. So if you're needing something like fun to like that, keeping it fun for me, like literally keeping it fun, that has been one of my biggest things of like, don't let it get stale. Keep it fun, because if it's fun, I'm going to keep doing it. And of course, my clear proteins, love those as well. Those are linked down below from Clean Simple Eats. And you guys know my electrolytes. Oh my God. The other thing is it's getting cold here. Today it was like 60 some degrees. If you have not tried, buy Optimizers. They're mushroom breakthrough. They have mushrooms and collagen in there. It helps with brain functions, but also it helps with, it's got the collagen in there, bovine collagen and marine collagen. It's so good. And my favorite is the caramel. You can put that in your coffee, and it has on there, it's 1 scoop is just 60 calories, protein 3 grams, bovine collagen 1.5 grams, marine collagen 1 gram. Has lion's mane extract and some other stuff in there too. It is awesome. I highly recommend. The number 1 ingredient is organic cashew nut milk powder. It's so good. I'm having this after this video. It was my treat for this video. I'm like, I'm gonna have mine now. My favorite is caramel, but they do have chai flavor and chocolate. I'm not so much a chocolate person. Like my go-to, I love caramel stuff. So I can't wait. I think that was it. Was there anything else I was gonna share? We talked about these. These will be on the Amazon list. Pilates. I felt like there's something else. Oh, and if you guys didn't see the other video of me talking about these shoes, they are the Uggs inspired shoes. They're so comfortable. They're the shoe of the fall, since we're talking about fall stuff. I think that's it. Oh, yeah, one other thing. The ginger chews that I had been recommending, I think they're sold out. I really do love, I had did a GNC video, the ginger root pills. They look like this. They're capsules for nausea. If you're having nausea, these have been very helpful for me. It's like just a calming tummy. I like those quite a bit. We do have from Bioptimizers, of course. There's other tummy things there with prebiotics and probiotics if you're having diarrhea issues. But someone was specifically asking me about nausea. And I think my ginger chews on my list are sold out. So those are another great solution if you're not wanting like a ginger chew. And the ones that I had picked from ginger chews were the lowest sugar I had found, because a lot of those ginger chews do have high sugar, just FYI. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to fix my blood sugar. I'm not trying to have it all get whacked out with like a ginger chew making it like spike. Everything will be linked down below. We did our emoji of the day, accountability question. What are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? And I'm gonna go take the shirt off now because it literally cuts right here. Don't buy this shirt. It's ridiculous. I got it on Amazon. I'm not happy, and I can't return it because I accidentally clipped the tag. Yeah. Literally, I just raised my arm. I'm like, oh my God, am I gonna show my biddies? It's like right there. Why is it cut so high? Am I like one of those like, what are they called? Like Barbie doll, not Barbie dolls, but like American Girl dolls where they like outfits. It's cute on the top. It's like a mullet. It's a mullet sweater. It's party on the top. No, it's like business on the top and then party on the bottom. Like literally like my roll, that's where I carry most weight, is around the lower part of my stomach. It's where it's like all exposed. My pants are jacked up so high. I look like the old man from the movie Up. You see that where where it's the cute little Boy Scout boy and the old man with the balloons. You know what I'm talking about? I look like the guy in that with my pants right now. Or Dick. Okay, I love you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shop, and count my blessings because life is delicious. Love y'all.